King crab is one of the largest and most expensive seafood in the world, living mainly in the deep cold waters of the North Pacific and the coast of Europe. They are famous not only for their huge size but also for their sweet, firm and nutritious meat, considered the king of crabs. Because of their high economic value, king crab exploitation has become a typical profession of many European and North American fishermen. The special thing about catching king crab is the use of round pots, a cylindrical metal or plastic trap, covered with a sturdy net. Fishermen often put bait such as fish, clams or shrimp in the trap and then drop it to the bottom of the sea from 200 to 400 meters deep. When crabs crawl inside to find food, they will have difficulty escaping because the entrance is designed as a one-way door. After a certain period of time, fishermen will use a winch to pull these round pots up from the water surface. Check and classify the crabs. Those that reach the standard size will be kept, while the small ones or females carrying eggs will be released back into the sea to preserve natural resources. The use of round pots is not only effective but also sustainable, helping to reduce overfishing and limit negative impacts on the marine environment. This is a clear demonstration of the combination of traditional experience and modern techniques of European fishermen in protecting this valuable resource. The king crab is truly a giant crab of the ocean. Just looking at it is impressive. The good thing is that European fishermen have a very smart way of catching it using round pots. They will put fragrant bait such as fish or clams in, then drop the pot to the bottom of the cold deep sea. The crabs will smell the bait and crawl in, but the design of the pot only allows them to go in but not out easily. So they are trapped. When pulling the pot up, the scene is extremely interesting. The crabs are as big as a hand, even weighing several kilograms. However, fishermen are very careful. They only keep crabs that meet the standards, and small crabs or female crabs carrying eggs will be released back into the sea. This method not only maintains a stable job in the long term, but also helps preserve rare crab resources. Watching these scenes, we can see the hard work but also the professionalism of European fishermen. It is not just simply catching, but it is also a process of combining traditional experience and modern techniques to bring the king of crabs from the bottom of the deep sea to our dining table. Wow, seeing the king crabs pulled up from the round pot is really overwhelming. Open mouth face. They are terribly big, have long legs, and the meat is said to be very sweet. Seeing European fishermen work extremely professionally, from dropping traps to the bottom of the cold sea to classifying, selecting and then releasing those that do not meet the standards. Just watching, I feel admiration, because it is not just hunting crabs, but also the way they preserve natural resources so that the fishing industry can last long. The scene of several round pots being pulled up, full of crabs crawling inside, is like harvesting gold under the sea. Anyone who loves seafood will surely want to enjoy a hot steamed king crab right away. Both fatty and sweet, truly the king of the banquet table. King crabs are truly one of those sea creatures that leave people in awe every time they see them. With their huge bodies, long legs, hard red shells when cooked, and the sweet, fatty flavor of their meat that has earned him the reputation of king of the sea. When watching videos of European fishermen hunting king crabs, I was fascinated not only by their enormous size but also by the way they use round pots to trap them. A method that is both effective and sustainable. These pots are usually made from sturdy metal frames, covered with mesh, shaped like a large round cage, with one-way entrances for crabs to enter but difficult to escape. Fishermen prepare baits such as small fish, clams, or other seafood with a fishy smell to attract crabs, then release them into the deep sea where they live. usually at a depth of several hundred meters, in the middle of cold and dark water. Just imagine how difficult this job is. In the midst of big waves and strong winds, they have to work day and night, continuously dropping dozens or even hundreds of pots into the sea, marking them with buoys to pull them up after a few hours or days. The scene when the pots are pulled up from the water is truly spectacular. The giant king crabs with strong claws are trying to crawl around, making creepy clicking sounds. For those who love seafood, this is the most exciting moment, feeling like witnessing a treasure from the bottom of the sea being brought to the surface. However, what makes me admire European fishermen is their professionalism in the selection process. They are not greedy to keep everything but very carefully check each one. Any crab that has not reached the standard size or is a female crab carrying eggs is immediately released back into the sea. It is thanks to this principle that the king crab resource is maintained sustainably over the years, so that not only the current generation but also future generations can continue to exploit it. What I like most about the round pot crab trapping method is its humanity and science. Instead of destructive fishing with trawls or in any way affecting the marine habitat, the round pot only targets the specific target, the king crab. When the crabs get in, if they do not meet the standards, they still have the opportunity to be released back into the natural environment, to continue living and reproducing. This is also clear evidence that people are increasingly aware of protecting the marine environment and maintaining sustainable fishing. Watching fishermen work on the deck, you can see the harshness. The waves crashing continuously. The water is freezing cold. The wind is howling. Their hands are chapped. Their faces are red from the sea wind, but they still have to work non-stop, pulling each heavy pot full of crabs onto the boat, sorting, and placing them in cold storage containers. All happens smoothly and quickly. This job requires not only good health but also a lot of experience. Because if you are not used to it, just a little carelessness can cause you to be pinched by the crab's claws or have an accident due to the wind and waves. In fact, to put a king crab on the dining table, behind it is a whole arduous and sweaty journey of people working at sea. Every time I see a whole steamed king crab, bright red, legs as big as an adult's arm, white, sweet meat, I remember the image of round pots in the middle of the ocean and the hard work of fishermen. Eating a piece of firm, naturally sweet crab meat feels like enjoying the essence of the ocean, because of its culinary value and the value of the labor behind it. King crab is always classified as a luxury seafood, with a very high price on the market, but at the same time it is also a memorable culinary experience for anyone who has ever tried it. For me, videos recording the process of trapping king crabs are not just entertainment clips but also valuable documentaries. Helping viewers understand more about a special profession, where people are attached to the ocean, where patience, dexterity and strength must be harmoniously combined to bring results. This is also a testament to the intelligence of humans when they came up with a way to make round pots. A simple but effective tool, contributing to bringing king crab dishes from the deep sea to diners around the world. Sometimes watching European fishermen drop round pots into the sea and patiently wait, I feel like I am watching a treasure hunt under the ocean. Because every time I pull the pot up, there is a surprise. Sometimes it is full of giant king crabs. Sometimes there are only a few small ones that do not meet the standards. But it is this surprise that makes this profession interesting and challenging. Some people say that hunting king crabs is not just about catching seafood but also an adventure in the middle of the ocean, where people have to fight against harsh nature, fierce winds and cold to bring back precious spoils. In fact, round pots sound simple, but to make and use them effectively requires a system of experience passed down through generations. From choosing the type of bait to attract crabs the fastest, choosing where to drop the pot to get a lot of crabs, to how long to wait before pulling it up so that the crabs don't have time to escape or the bait doesn't drift away. Experienced fishermen often have a keen eye to judge these factors, while newcomers will certainly fail many times. But it is those failures that forge their courage and deep understanding of the ocean. So that after many years, they can predict where there will be a lot of king crabs just by looking at the water color and wind direction. Another thing that impressed me was the strictness in the regulations on king crab exploitation in Europe. Not everyone can freely go out to sea to release pots to catch crabs, but need a license. There is a limit on the number of pots used, a limit on the number of crabs allowed to be kept, and especially the release of egg-bearing females and those that are not yet big enough. These regulations may sound strict at first, but in fact they are the key to protecting resources. Because if exploited massively, after only a few seasons at sea, the king crab will gradually disappear. Thanks to this management, the king crab trapping profession not only brings good income to fishermen, but also keeps this rare crab species from being depleted. Just thinking about the scene of fishermen standing on the deck of the ship in the middle of the night sea. The yellow light shining on the dark waves. Each pot being pulled up heavily, inside glistening with giant crab claws. I see that it is not only labor but also a vivid picture of life at sea. They have to work in conditions that many people cannot imagine. Their hands numb from the cold, their bodies soaked by the waves, but their eyes still shine with joy every time they see a pot full of crabs. It is this resilience and love for the job that has created a special culture, where people are closely connected to the sea. And perhaps that is why every time you enjoy king crab, you not only feel the sweetness of the meat but also experience the arduous journey behind. From hundreds of meters deep under the sea, through storms and waves, through the calloused hands of fishermen, to reach the dining table, it is not simply a dish, but also the crystallization of nature and human labor. Kieng gu dan mo noi ra, nung kon kua duk nha fan loai, nung kon juk ko man, du tu xuan ki thuok she duk ju lai, sap zep ngay nyan val thung bao quan lan de ju tok de tuoi ingon. Con kua kai ko trung hope kua no ti lap tuk duk tu gian tro lai bian. Can boro fan toi kua tro vi heen rat tu vi. Nung con kua vuat mat nuk roy nha chong bian mat trong song song. Nu chung ta ko the biat min vua may man thor koi chuyen di din men. De la mot su det de kuring gay dan bat ko truthwachin hiem. Kong chi gi den truok loi in wan ma kong gi den su kan bang va tuing lai dai kua loi kua hoangda. Ham kua hoangda thuk su kong dan cho nung I yer tim hei chu tri chu. Tren tau, kong viets gan nu kong nung gi. Tu sank som cho den kuya. Tieng moi bei kio noi. Tieng song dap vao man tau. Tieng ho ho kuring gu dan hoa hoa voi tieng jojo. Nguoi tren tau ju koen hiem vu rin. Nguoi lo, nguoi fan toi, nguoi jur kien roy, nguoi fan lo I kua, tat sa foi hop in hip nung nu mot ko mori song giua bian sa koi mo. Chi kan mot mat zi cam. Sa kor trin ko ngui hiem. Boy song jo ko the kong cho doi I. Va nung jur nang ni ko the gay tai nan bat si you loop now. Hua hoang de khi duk bian doi ti mang lai mot hin on hong tone koch.